Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inside IUE Sports. I'm your host, Caleb Gillock. We're here today to talk about men's basketball, and my first guest today is Dave Sanders, former IU East basketball player. Yes. Dave, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Well, let's start out a little bit talking about you. How was your time here at IU East as a player?
My time here was great. I mean, I had a great 4 years playing basketball. I had a great career, and now I just moved on from my career and made it was tough at first, but now I'm getting used to a transition to coaching.
Now, what's it like to not only have been a player here, but now be a part of the coaching staff?
It's actually great. It's not that much different because there's still a couple of players on the team that I play with. It'll be my senior year and their freshman year. So, like I said, the transition was hard at first, but it's something that I'm getting used to, and something that, because I mean, this is something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to coach. So the transition is getting really easier for me.
Now, what were some of your greatest accomplishments while you were a basketball player here?
My greatest accomplishments were tying for the regular season KIAC Conference Championship. That was a great season for us as a team and me as an individual. And making to the national tournament 2 years. I mean, it's just my overall experience with IU has just been great. I've made the perfect decision for myself.
All right, well, congratulations, and we're glad to have you as part of the coaching staff here at IU East. Let's talk a little bit about this upcoming season. What are you and Coach Hester expecting to see out of the team this year?
We're expecting to see great effort. I mean, we always talk about a championship level effort because that's what we want to be. I mean, we set our goals up at a very, very high rate. We want to be national champions. I mean, that's our end goal. And we talk to our guys a lot about our actions having to match our national championship aspirations, and that's what we're expecting. We have to go out every night and come to practice every morning and have a national championship type effort.
Now, what are some of the big games that you guys have circled on the schedule for this year?
Right out the gate, we have Wesleyan within the first 3 games. They're the national champions from last year. So, I mean, they're really good, and I think we have them the third game of the season. So, I mean, that's early. And then just all conference games, that's our first goal. Like I said, our main goal is to be a national championship, but our first goal, we have to win a conference championship on the way. So, I mean, the conference season is big for us. I mean, we have to take care of business there, and so we can attain our main goal.
Now, if you had to choose a theme for the team this season, what would it be and why?
It's actually 2 themes that I would say. The first theme would be habits. We talked a lot about habits this year. We're not even worried about the result. We have to instill habits with this team because, I mean, we're fairly young. We have a good core group, but we have 6 new guys, and we're just young. So we have to get the pieces in place, and if we teach them the habits, then the results are going to take care of themselves. We have to teach them how to play hard. We have to teach them how to just all the little things that make up the big picture, and that's the main thing, habits. And the second thing is playing for each other. We as coaches can only say so much. We can only do so much. We're not out on the floor with them. So when it's time to play, when the popcorn machines come on, it's their time to play. They have to be out there and play for each other, all for one and one for all.
All right, well, the season opens 1 week from today on Friday, October 31st, and also on November 1st, you'll be taking on Purdue North Central and Oklahoma Wesleyan at the Indiana Wesleyan tournament. What do you expect to see out of those 2 teams?
I know for sure that they're going to be physical. I mean, Purdue North Central, they're always physical. We play them every year when I was a player, and that's one thing I remember. They just played hard and they were physical. They were big on the inside and had some guards on the perimeter that can do some things. So we just have to go out and match their energy, match their physicality, and we'll be fine. Like I said, with the habits, if we do everything that we need to do, then we should be fine. But if we go out and revert back to stuff that we should not be doing, then it can be a long night for us. And then Oklahoma Wesleyan, I'm not sure. I think they went to the Sweet 16 or something like that last year. Either made it to the national tournament or something. So they're going to be good. It's going to be a good test for us right out the gate. We just see what we're made of right away. Because I mean, the first half of the season it's going to be tough. I mean, we don't want to just go out and play bad teams and make a name for ourselves. We want to go out and play the best teams. That's why we're playing, the national champions from last year early. We're going to play different ranked teams, so we want to test ourselves early and see where we are. We're going to put our guys out there and see what they're made of.
All right. Well, when we come back from the break, we'll talk with Coach Sanders about the returning players for the season. We'll be right back with more Inside IUE Sports.
This is where a busy mom can work toward a bachelor's degree from a top national university during softball practice. It's where a service member can continue his college studies from anywhere in the world, and where you'll benefit from one of the country's most effectively delivered online programs.
Woohoo!
So, if you've ever wondered if a college education is really worth it, this is where you'll see that it is. This is Indiana University East Online.
And welcome back to Inside IUE Sports. I'm your host, Caleb Gillock, and joining me once again today is men's basketball assistant coach Dave Sanders. Well, let's now talk a little bit about the returning players on the team this year. And let's start out with the seniors. We'll start with Tyler Fangman.
Tyler Fangman, he's actually one of the players that I played with my senior year. He was a freshman, and he came in as a freshman just as a shooter. I mean, that's all that he wanted to do. And he made that transition from a shooter to a do-it-all guy. I mean, you can tell by some of his highlights. I mean, he makes tough shots, but he'll take it to the basket. He has a lethal pump fake. I mean, he gets everyone with the pump fake. And he's doing a better job playing defense because at freshman year and a little bit some sophomore and junior year, he had lapses on that court, but he's dialing in this year. And he's rebounding a lot better, which is something that we really wanted. And so, I mean, all in all, he's just doing a great job so far. This year, he had off-season knee surgery, so he was out for about 4 weeks. So he missed a little condition, so he's getting back into shape, and he's going to be a really, really good player for us this year. We're counting on him for a lot this year.
All right, so it looks like you're expecting great things out of Tyler Fangman. Now, how about Brian Schlater?
Brian, he came in my senior year also, and he was a redshirt freshman. He redshirted that year, and he didn't get a lot of playing time. He was a very, very good practice player, though. He moved well without the ball. He rebounded well. He does a lot of little things. He actually left us for a year, went to IUPUI just to be a student, but he missed it so much. I mean, that's what you expect. So he came back and got back into that role. He came in, was a great practice player for us last year, and this year we're looking to get in a little bit. He's going to be a big part of our success as far as what he's going to accept this role, whatever that means. If he's going to play 5 minutes a game, 1 minute a game, or be that practice player, he's going to do whatever he needs to do for our team to be successful. And we need kids like that.
All right, so there's only 2 returning seniors on the team, and there's also 5 returning juniors, one of those being Houston Clark. What do you know about Houston?
Houston Clark, that's another one of our guys who played with me. He missed all of last year, off-season ankle surgery. That was a huge loss for us, a very, very big loss for us. His sophomore year, he averaged 16 and 10 for us, and just not having his presence last year just killed us. If we had Houston last year, then it would have been a different year, but we're not here to talk about last year. We're here to talk about this year. And in practice, he's been playing really, really well. I call it the Houston effect. When he's out there, everyone energy picks up because he plays so hard and just bring everyone together, and it's going to be great to have him this year.
All right, so it's kind of cool that you really got to play with some of the guys off of the team. Next, Vache Davis.
Vache, he's a kid out of the region, we like to call it. So he's from Northwest Indiana. He's a tough kid. I mean, just put on his hard hat every day and just come ready to play. He's a high energy guy. I mean, no matter what he's doing, he's gonna bring the energy. He's gonna bring the effort, and he's developed over the years a shot that, I mean, that's really respectable now. When he first came in, he was just more of a slasher, and last year he averaged about 17 a game for us. But this year his role is gonna change just because we're way bigger than we've been in a long time. So he's not going to have those driving lanes. So something that we had him do is develop that three-point shot, and that's something that he worked diligently on. And I mean, he can knock it down now. He can knock it down with the best of it. He's one of our best set shooters, so he can spread out the floor for us. Or when it's time for him to attack, he's going to attack. So we're going to really love his energy and his effort all the way around from every night. He's going to bring it.
Now, how does that help to have such a high-energy player on the team?
That's great because, I mean, it's just not him. It's a couple other guys who just have high energy, and that just helps because if our starters or somebody's not going, we can go with Vache and we can say, Vache, we need you here, and he'll pretty much all the time just go after it, and he'll play hard, and that's what we need. We need a nice change of pace like that.
All right, how about Jason Ray?
Jason Ray, it all starts with Jason Ray. I mean, offensively, defensively, I mean, I never seen a guy who just plays so hard all the time. I mean, he don't care if he's hurting somebody, he don't care if he's hurting you, hurting himself. He's gonna get the job done. And we need guys like that. I mean, he's hurt a couple guys in practice this year just by going hard, and no one wants to go against that. If you go hard all the time and you play defense as hard as he does, and you run up and down the court until you can't run anymore, people don't want to play against that. It's very hard to play against, and having Jason at that spot, at that fourth spot, that's gonna create a lot of matchup problems because he's more of a guard forward. He can do a lot of things. That's something that he developed over the years, and we're just excited about Jason. I mean, as long as he keep bringing that effort and that energy, no one's going to be able to match up with him.
So it sounds like he's one of the more crucial players on the team.
Yes, Jason is going to be very important for us this year. Just from what I said, he just plays so hard. Last year he played the same way, but he didn't come up with the rebounds that we need him to, or the ball when we need him to. But this year he got a lot stronger, and he's going to be that guy and just comes up with everything.
All right, another junior, Nick Bolenbacher. Tell us about him.
Nick is a junior. He junior point guard. I worked a lot with Nick over the years, and he came out of Hanover Central, and he was one of the most productive players in the state his senior year. I mean, he averaged 25 points, 8 steals, just some crazy stats. And over the years, he's been getting better and better every year. Last year, he averaged about 9 points a game, like 3 or 4 assists, and we expect those numbers to go up just because he's a junior now. I mean, he's getting a better understanding of what we need to do, what we need him to do, and he's becoming more vocal. That's a problem that we had with him before. He wasn't as vocal as we need him to, but he's getting to that point where I'm a junior now. I know what I need to do, and he's producing. So we're excited for Nick too. I mean, he's one of those other energy guys who can just come in and once he reaches his potential, he can do it. He can run with the best of them. I mean, he can bring our energy, and he can score. He can score very well.
Now, what are you and Coach Hester and the rest of the coaching staff expecting to see out of him this season?
We just expecting him to keep maturing, keep on what he's doing. I mean, like I said, from his freshman year to now, he's builded. He kept building, and once he reaches potential, then the sky's the limit for him.
All right, now for the last junior, tell us about Parker Salinas.
Parker, he's our morale guy. He's our character guy. He comes in and do whatever he needs to do. If that's diving on the floor, if that's rebounding the balls, I mean, he just does whatever he needs to do. And he's another guy like Brian. He came to us from IU Kokomo last year, and I mean he can shoot the ball, he can do just about everything. But now we're looking at him as a role to come in and to play now. He actually started the alumni game that we had this Saturday, and he played pretty well. But we just have to get him to focus on the mental side of things. I mean, as far as physical skill-wise, he has it. I mean, he can be one of our better players. Now he just have to sit down and really think about the mental side and just keep doing what he's doing on the physical side, shooting the ball, keep rebounding, keep playing defense. But he's gonna be all right for us.
Now, did you guys recruit him from IU Kokomo, or did he move here?
We recruited him out of high school a little bit, and then he ended up going to IU Kokomo. And Huey, that's his teammate. They went to Kokomo together in high school, and Huey came here, and then Parker did some. I think he went to Ball State first, and then he went to IU Kokomo because he wanted to play ball, and then he wanted to play with Huey. So he kind of walked on here last year.
All right, there's one returning sophomore. That's Matthew Warner. Tell us about him.
Matthew Warner, he's a tough, hard-nosed point guard. He had some issues last year. He had a bad back, so he was going to be our student assistant for this year. And once he told me that last year, it was heartbreaking, just because you don't want to lose a kid like that. He's going to come in every day in practice. He's going to be a leader for you, bring all kind of energy for you, play hard as he can. And once I heard that he wasn't playing, it was heartbreaking to me, because I knew that he can help us and he can do some things. But then about 2 weeks into the year, he was, I'm playing. I want to play basketball. I mean, that's what I want to do. And since he's been back, it's been a big difference as far as leadership-wise, as far as the morale in practice. And that's something that's been big for us. And I can't wait, because he missed a lot of conditioning and stuff. So once he gets in shape, then he's gonna be good for us.
All right, so there's the list of returning players for the IU East men's basketball team. When we come back, we'll introduce the new players for the team. We'll be right back with more Inside IU East Sports.
Dylan Newman had a terrible dislocated shoulder after a bad dirt bike accident. The long-term solution, surgery and intense rehab.
I trusted Reed Orthopedics because they had already fixed my ankle. And within 4 months of my surgery, Dr. Miller and my Reed therapist, April, helped me to regain my motion and most of my strength. Thanks to Reed Ortho, I can get back to what I love. It's all about trust. Right, Dr. Miller?
Right here at Reed.
Right here in Richmond.
And welcome back to Inside IU East Sports. I'm your host, Caleb Gillock. Today's episode is all about the upcoming season for men's basketball. We just introduced the returning players for this season. And Coach Sanders, let's talk a little bit about the new players. Start out with the only new junior to the team, Dom Williams.
Dom, he's a junior college kid. He went to Western Wyoming for junior college, and he's out of Fort Wayne Lures. He's a big-time athlete. I mean, he's someone that we went through a big list of junior college kids and junior college Indiana kids, and from right down the street from Fort Wayne. It was a good fit for us. I mean, he's a big-time athlete, about 6'5", 6'6", and can do a lot of different things. So we're excited to have Dom. He's going to be a big asset to us.
Now, do you expect his height to help out with the team this year?
Yes. He's going to play around the 3 or the 4 for us, which is going to be good. And I mean, he can step out and hit the open 3. He can go up and dunk on someone if they get in this way. So, I mean, he's a versatile player, defends pretty well, so he's going to be an asset to us.
All right, one new sophomore on the team this year, that's Trey Boyd. What do you know about Trey?
Trey, we actually recruited him pretty hard out of high school. He went to Anderson High School. He ended up going to Goshen his first year. Didn't work out at Goshen, and he gave us a call, and we're happy to have Trey. In high school, he went to Anderson, like I said, and I mean he was a body that can shoot the 3, that can defend pretty well. So I mean, anytime you can get someone that can stretch out the defense by putting them in a corner or they have to guard them constantly, then that's going to be a big plus. He can shoot it at a very, very high rate, and we're excited about Trey. He at Goshen, he averaged about 15 a game, was all conference player over in the Crossroads League, which is a very, very good league. So he's a proven scorer. I mean, he proves that he can get it done. I mean, 15 points a game at that league is tough no matter who you're playing for.
All right, 4 new freshmen on the team. Let's start with Jacoby Claypool.
Jacoby Claypool, he's our second point guard. Reminds me a lot of myself. I mean, as far as pass first guy, get the teammates involved, but when he needs to, he can score the ball, and that's someone that we're pretty excited about. I mean, we got in on him a little late as far as recruitment, but we gave him a pretty good offer, and we're lucky to have him. I mean, he's gonna have a great career here. We're excited about him. I mean, he's just a leader. He's tough, Fort Wayne kid, and he's just gonna bring something that we haven't had in a little while. So just toughness and leadership, and we're excited about it.
How about Lucas Huffman?
Lucas Huffman, he's a Franklin Central kid. He's a lefty shooter, a lot like Trey as far as shooting. I mean, you have to know where he is. He's about 6'6", very, very long. I mean, he's a versatile player. I mean, he can shoot it or he can post up a little bit. I mean, he can just do a lot of different things. And lefty, they're hard to guard. I mean, I'm speaking from experience. They're hard to guard. They're crafty with the ball. They can do a lot of different things. So, I mean, we're excited about Lucas. He's having a little issue with his back now, so he's been out for about a week, 2 weeks. So we'll get that resolved, and hopefully he'll be ready by the first game.
You actually answered a question for me. I was going to ask you if you thought him being left-handed was going to help out or not, because I know from when I played in high school a little bit that sometimes those left-handed players are a little bit more difficult to guard.
They're crafty. I wish I was left-handed. I wish I was left-handed. No, I don't wish I was left-handed, but they're hard to guard. They're crafty with the ball. They can do a lot of different things, and it's just a funky game it's just hard to guard. It's something different.
All right, 2 more freshmen new to the team. Brad Hunt, tell us about him.
Brad Hunt's our big man in the middle. He's about 6'9", from Jennings County. I mean, you can't teach 6'9". I mean, he steps over, does a good job of stepping over, blocking shots, changing shots, just being long. And offensively, he's making a transition from high school to college, which is hard, especially in our system, because we want him to be about on the mid-post area, and that's a hard transition for him. But he's getting better every single day. And by the time he's done, we can be talking about big time player. I mean, the sky's the limit for him. He just have to buy into what we're trying to do, and the skill work will come, and he can be one heck of a player. He can be really, really good, especially at 6'9".
All right, 1 more freshman to introduce, Josh Price.
Josh Price from Short Ridge High School in Indianapolis. He's another 6'9" kid, very skilled. I mean, he can play on the perimeter. He can shoot step-back jump shots. He can hook all over his right shoulder, left shoulder. I mean, he's just skilled. He knows how to score. But the problem with Josh, we have to get him to play a little harder. Once he learned that, I don't think he understands how hard he has to play at this level. But, I mean, like a lot like Brad, he's getting better every day. His work ethic is getting better. So we can expect good things from, I mean, Brad and Josh, because, I mean, they're both 6'9". They have a little bit of different games, but it's going to be hard to guard just because they're 6'9". And with Josh, he can do a lot of things. So he's another guy that if he gets it as far as the work ethic, he can be someone that's the sky's the limit with him, just like Brad. I mean, he can be conference all KIAC, I'm sorry. He can be all KIAC. He can be just anything he wants to. Just got to put in the work. The sky's the limit for all the freshmen, really. As long as they put in the work and do what we tell them, we're gonna be really, really good.
All right, well, definitely excited to see all these new players on the court for the Red Wolves this season. And Coach Dave Sanders, thanks for joining me once again. If you'd like to check out the entire roster and the schedule for the men's basketball team, make sure to go to IUERedwolves.com. We'll be right back with more Inside IUE Sports. And welcome back to Inside IUE Sports. That sound that you just heard means that it is time for Wolf Center. Wolf Center is where we take a look back at last week's IU East results and ahead to next week's schedule. You can download the Wolf House sound that you just heard by downloading the free IU East Athletics app on the iTunes App Store or the Google Play Store. Now let's take a look back at last week's results. On October 14th, the volleyball team defeated Shawnee State 3-0. On October 17th, the women's tennis team fell to Asbury 9-0. Also on October 17th, the women's cross-country team placed 33rd at the Wilmington Classic. On October 17th, the men's cross-country team placed 22nd at the Wilmington Classic. On October 18th, the men's tennis team fell to Wittenberg with a score of 8-1. Also on the 18th, volleyball fell to kayak leader Asbury 3-1. Also on the 18th, the Red Wolves volleyball team also lost to Cumberland's with a final score of 3-2. Then on October 20th, volleyball defeated IU Northwest with a score of 3-0. Now let's take a look at next week's schedule. On October 25th, cross country will be at the Midway Invite. 4 of the kayak teams will compete at 10 a.m. in Midway, Kentucky. On October 26th, the volleyball team will be at Alice Lloyd at 2 p.m. and they will also take on Pikeville at 3:30 p.m. That is the first match between IU East and Pikeville. On October 30th, the volleyball team will be at Cincinnati Christian at 7 p.m. You can catch coverage on IUERedwolves.com. And on October 31st, men's basketball will take on Purdue University North Central at 2 p.m. at the Indiana Wesleyan Tournament. Coverage for that game will also be on IUERedwolves.com at 2 p.m. That concludes this week's episode of Inside IUE Sports. I'm your host, Caleb Gillock. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.